What's up, everybody? So today I'm doing something just a little bit different from what I'm typically doing. I'm going to be going through and reacting to all of the old footage that I've gathered from a couple of races earlier in the 2020s. This includes the 2021 Fall Martinsville race, notoriously the one with the "he's just a hack" quote from Denny Hamlin, and that incredible finish. And I also have recorded some of the races from the 2022 season from Bristol, the ARCA Trucks and Xfinity series. So I'm just going to go over, briefly talk about all of them, just so I can finally say I've posted everything. And I figured I'd add a little bit of color commentary above it as well. Why are we doing this? With that being said, let's get right into this. Alright, so first up you can see on screen right in front of you, this is the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series race in Martinsville. There was 15 cautions, 15 lead changes, and a margin of victory of just under half a second. Here is a quick little brief overview of some of the cautions. Now, I missed a bunch of them because every time I would record during restarts, and most of the time they were not wrecking on restarts. Most of the cautions came out kind of 10-20 laps into the run. With that brief overview of that race done, let's get right into the actual footage. As you can see all around me, this is the first restart of the day, aka the start of the race. One disclaimer I have is that the footage is pretty bad because I'm using a shitty Motorola phone. I actually have it right here. So, as you can see, the quality isn't incredible or anything, but you can definitely see the cars on the track still, so. As you can see, Larson led off the field. Pretty typical for a Cup Series race in 2021. Here is some footage of some pit stops, including Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch, as well as Kevin Harvick. Fun stuff. This is back when Kyle Busch was still in the 18, and Harvick wasn't retired, so cool that I got to see them on track. I got another restart here. This time again, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott. Nothing too spectacular, as it was still pretty early on in the race. So then after that, I actually got the Newman spin. Unfortunately, it was in turn 4, so you really couldn't see much. And I was literally shaking the entire time. Like, my camera's like all over the place. So it's only so much that you can see here as I play it right around me. You can see how much shaky it is. This car's sitting on the track. Let me go back. This car's sitting on the track right in there, kind of right beside my camera. And you can see, if I slow it down a little bit and analyze it, you can see him starting to spin out right there. And then he fully goes around. This is the one and only accident I caught the entire race. So, I'm just really good at filming cars, I guess. That's actually a bit of a lie. I did catch another wreck, kind of an important one, but only on accident. You can see right here it's green. These cars go around. In the back of the pack, the 52 and the 00 got together. This is when Quinn Houff was still racing in the Cup Series and Starcom was still a thing. You can see right back there they got together. I'll slow it down once again for you. I was filming kind of mid-pack. Right there. In that little area. You can see them slide up the track. And they'd actually get into the wall pretty hard there. Quinn Houff was not happy over this incident and ended up spinning the 52 down the backstretch. And of course I pretty much missed it. I got the second part of it though, with the 52 trying to put that car back in the forward position. But I actually missed him turning him down the backstretch. And other than that, there wasn't a lot of special things to the race that I caught, other than the green-white checkered. Here it is, up around me. This was after Bowman got into Hamlin, by the way, which I did miss, unfortunately. So it's him and Kyle Busch battling. Two-lap shootout, green-white checkered. Not a lot happened, at least for the lead. Bowman was able to hang on. Spoiler alert, if you don't know already. You can see Kyle really trying to push it in the corners. And he was close enough that he might have been able to make a move, other than the fact that Brad Keselowski was right behind him. And they would actually get together after this race. As you see I just missed it again, but right there you saw the 2 and the 18 kind of come closer together, and they would actually connect, and you would see them wreck off into turn number 1. Other than that, that was it for Martinsville. Now let's move on to the 2022 races at Bristol. So this race was called the 2022 Busch Beans 200. It was a doubleheader with the ARCA race happening kind of near the end of the daytime hours heading into the night, and then the Truck Series starting off late night. As you can see, the field was kind of small. Sammy Smith ended up winning, future Xfinity driver, by the way. And there were 7 cautions with 2 lead changes, not a lot of exciting stuff, and a margin of victory closer to a quarter of a second. Here is the initial start of the race. It was basically Sammy Smith dominating the show for most of the race. The 17 did put up a good fight. I believe that was Taylor Gray. Did a good job, but he couldn't really get up there and pass him at all. There was a couple big wrecks, and I pretty much missed most of them. Here's one involving one of the lapped cars and the 55 right there. Here's one that actually happened right in front of me. This one actually involved Taylor Gray, the 42, in another lapped car. Caught the end of this one. Here is the final restart of the race. Again, Sammy Smith ended up pulling off and winning the race, but it was a pretty good battle between him and Brandon Jones there for a little bit. They nearly wrecked there off of turn number 4. But as you can see, he really just stormed off and beat him. I got his burnout though, and it was really cool to see a car do a burnout in front of me. I missed Bowman for the most part, other than him and Hamlin getting together. This one was a lot longer, and it was really cool to see. Here is the name for the Truck Series race. It was the 2022 UNOH 200 presented by Ohio Logics. There was 6 cautions in this race with 3 lead changes, so again, not a very exciting race. And the margin of victory was just over a second. Next up was the truck race. Again, I missed a lot of wrecks, so didn't get a lot in this race either. Here is aftermath from the biggest wreck of the day. The 43 and the 7 were involved. It was a pretty hard crash, but also on the other side of the track. And this is the final restart that I caught. It was Ty Majeski there and Zane Smith. Majeski ended up beating Smith. They nearly wrecked there in the back, as you can tell, but they ended up holding on to it. And again, they almost wrecked there and back again. And as you can see, the last stretch of this race was pretty much green. Majeski was able to basically run away with it. He was pretty dominant for most of the race, as I can recall. As you can see, there he goes right on by, and he ends up winning. There might have been some tempers here, but I am not really sure about it. The 91 comes over here to the 17, I believe. And he kind of swerves at him right there as he comes up across the apron. So there might have been a little bit of tempers there that actually wasn't shown on Fox. And here's the stats for the Xfinity race. This was called the 2022 Food City 300. Noah Gragson ended up winning the race. It's pretty interesting to see that he won based off the fact that he and Ty Gibbs actually got together during the race. And in this one, there was 8 cautions with 6 lead changes, so basically a similar deal. For the most part, this Bristol weekend was fairly tame. There was some incidents, there was some action, there was some crashes, but not the most chaotic Bristol that I've seen. Before that, though, I ended up catching some Cup Series practice. I actually watched Kyle Busch spin. He spun somewhere kind of further down the track. And here's the green flag for the Xfinity race. It's actually going to happen probably just around my head here. It was Josh Berry and Ty Gibbs, and as you can see, Allmendinger had a big moment off of turn number 1. I thought that he was having a problem, but he ended up finishing the race. In this little clip, I ended up catching the Riley Herbst spin, at least partially. He was kind of off over here, I believe. Yeah, right there. And you can see him starting to go around, and he ended up kind of on the apron there. Not really exciting footage because it was on the other end of the track. There was another incident right here. One of the cars near the back of the field ended up spinning out. Yeah, right here you see he was trying to hang on to it. Just kind of lost the back end of it and then ended up getting into the inside wall pretty hard. I caught a couple more restarts. Here's one of them. You can see Ty Gibbs making a pretty great move underneath Sheldon Creed. Overall, the battles in this race were really good. There was some pretty interesting racing throughout the field, and it was definitely the most exciting race of the entire weekend. Here is this 4-car battle here going for the lead. Kind of make it 5, including the 1 here. The 2 and the 7 car were battling for the lead, and then for third on back, making it almost a 6-car battle right here when Brendan Jones got involved. Honestly, some really great racing for a while. And then this happened. The 9 got into the back bumper of the 54, which sent him into the wall with the 2. It was pretty wild to watch, and I could see the entire crowd, or what was left of the crowd, going pretty wild for it. As you can tell, the stands weren't packed or anything, but it is an Xfinity race, so you don't expect the stands to be fully packed. I caught the ass end of another wreck. The 66 and the 1 got around. The 66 would end up getting involved in another wreck with the Junior Motorsports car a little bit later on in the race. This one, though, was a lot tamer than the other one. There was a pretty good battle between the 7 and the 19 for a while. As you can see here, they were kind of fighting through lap traffic together. This is actually what led to one of the final incidents of the day, again involving the 66 car. You can see Allgaier making a really aggressive move there to make it 3 wide. The 66 washed up, didn't know it was 3 wide, got together, hit the inside wall, and that was the caution. And here was the finish of the race. The 19 got super duper close to the 9 car, but he really couldn't make the move happen. I mean, within a few feet of getting him. This is actually the last lap. The 19 car really tried. Unfortunately, there was a lap car that got in the way, so the 19 had to run a little high, and he tried to pivot underneath of him, but just barely couldn't make it work. And overall, it was a really incredible weekend. I really enjoyed all 3 of the races, even though they were kind of tame. I definitely would consider going back to Bristol or Martinsville, either or. They were both pretty great. And overall, that's pretty much it for me. I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. It was just kind of a fun little thing I wanted to put together, just as like a side thing to do. But yeah, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this. Back to some regular content, crash compilations, bonus crashes, etc., and maybe some live streams along the way. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Knows how I'm feeling, pero